What's going on, people? Bilz here from the LJC podcast. Here every other Monday for pure vibes, pure banter, pure energy, and just a great time. Cardboard.
We back.
And we back. Uh-oh.
Today's
Come
number
on.
3.
Episode
Well done.
tres.
Let's go.
Let's do it, man.
For the people, them.
Hold on. Before we go any further, man, I just need to understand. Well, go on, because I don't feel like I got the bringing on the black t-shirt thing. What's going on?
We got a memo, my guy.
Great bands, isn't it?
Allow
Great
it.
man's thinking like, geez.
Lucky I bought the yak in it, you get me?
Sip the pain away.
Just needed to address
You got the
that.
trousers, though. You got the trousers.
Just needed to address
Next time
that.
we'll tell him that we're doing 3-piece.
Come in tracksuit and that,
Dress
bro.
next time, innit? Let's have a superhero for that.
Oh,
No,
man.
that'll be fun. That'll be a good episode, though. Nice episode. We all just dress up. Maybe an anniversary episode or something like that.
Definitely, bro.
Less of that.
You come on your own, bro.
Oh, nah, you're not trying to catch me out. But what are you telling me, guys? You all good?
All good, brother.
Life, brother.
All good. Get me.
I've seen smiles everywhere, bro.
Nah, bro, it's, you know, we're here.
Goodness pendant.
Always.
Goodness
Aye.
pendant.
Always. You know what I'm saying?
June 21st.
Boris done bits, though.
Hey,
Bro, be smart,
Yeah,
though.
let's not talk too quick.
Nah, you know what I'm
You know what I
saying?
mean? Let's not get too excited.
It'll be a back and forth thing, but he's smart though. He knew what he was doing. Cause his birthday's in June.
Yeah.
So he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. So you have to large him up one time, big you up, you
Big up
waste,
Boris,
man. He
man.
knew what he was doing,
Done
bro.
well, man. Fuck the haters, innit?
But yes, boys. So what we saying for today then? Sure,
So-
talk to me.
Today, I want to talk about success, not about just what it means to us in general, and
Yeah.
sort of what it means to us, and just like how we live our lives with it. I don't want to, I don't want this to be like a preachy episode talking about oh yeah, you got to do this or sign up to my forex trading course to be.
Send a link in that. Link in it is good.
I'll put it in the link anyway. 3, 2, 1, 2 then. You get
Buy
free
some
trade.
Bitcoin.
Just sort of it's been something that's been on my mind because we're all in our mid-20s now, innit? And I think we're not little boys anymore. We're not in sixth form.
Can't large up them times, though.
I need to go back.
Yeah.
Memories, man.
Good times, but yeah, man. Who wants to talk about it first?
Yeah. I'll kick it, bro. So for me, success is many things. It's loads of things. Like could mean a lot, but for me personally, it's 3 keys to it. It's just happiness, peace of mind, and prosperity, bro. Like that's it. You master that, you're good.
Hit the nail on the head with that one.
So that's what it means to you, yeah.
Yeah. For me, that's
I
what
like
it
that.
means.
I like that. So
Yeah.
it's 3 things for you, and if you have those, you in your heart feel you are successful, right?
Definitely, because like I said, it's a subjective thing, but I'll definitely lead more into that. But for me, those key things there, absolute pattern. If you've got those wrapped and under control, you're good, man.
No, I like that.
What are you thinking, Billy?
You know what it is? In my opinion, success is quite a basic thing, innit? Bro, peace, comfort, waking up with a smile on your face, going to sleep with a clear head. For me, that's success,
So
Simple
being able to be at
stuff.
ease with yourself.
Being at ease, being at comfort, bro, that's success for me,
I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice. What about you, Tom?
It's very vague, innit? But you always got to have a fresh trim.
Ah, there's always one guy,
Fresh
innit?
trim,
Trying to
yeah.
pin us
Man,
up.
say that during this. Yeah, can't do that. Not sending for come around with that, but
On this episode, I come correct as well.
Yeah,
Look, bro, you get me. You get
Lucky.
me.
Bro, if I blow job to do it, just nice and easy, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Bit of wax in there quick time, but nah. On a real thing, it's like it's a vague one, but just staying true to yourself, really. As long as you're sticking to your core values, that's it, man. You wake up, like I said,
Core
just going
values,
off
I
you
like
boys.
that.
You wake
I like
up
that.
every day, as long as you're happy in yourself, that's it. Support it.
I think you've all given like really good answers and stuff, and I think it's it also relates to sort of my sort of view on success. Like I've always said, if you're able to notice the impacts that you make, good impacts, I feel like that for me is success. None of this like, you know, having this much in the bank or this many, you know, followers or something like that. Like I've never, and I don't know why that has come into this sort of domain as like
It's
success,
a new age, you know.
new age and stuff like that. Yeah,
New generation, innit?
trust me. Man. Talk to me about goalpost and success.
Goalposts, you know.
There we go. Line it up for Billy.
That's an interesting topic, and I'll address it in a couple of ways. You know what? For me, goalposts are something which are quite subjective. However, they're one things which can be universal to an extent. What I mean by universal is obviously success is intrinsic within oneself.
Definitely.
However, how one feels that fulfillment is quite individualistic. Everyone's got their own personal spin.
Man, like, show them. Tell them, you know.
He's talking some big stuff over there.
I can't
Influential in that. Billy Bilz, come on.
So the ways for me, yeah, maybe between 18 to 22, 23, yeah, my view of success was like most kids or like teenagers or like young adults coming through thinking you want the fast cars, you want the wavy garms, you want this shoe, you want that, you want to be like what Show mentioned earlier, like you want to be posting up them mad pics on your gram, you want to be doing this, doing that. However, like I'd say like from the day I actually started working, I realized that this glitz and glam lifestyle that's not success, you know.
Don't come easy.
Now, the thing is, bro, like even if you're fortunate enough to experience it, yeah, I realized it's for me it was all glitz, all glam, all lights, but it was quite empty.
Facts.
It was quite empty.
Facts.
And like what I mean by that is empty in the sense that you're going out to these places. You're like literally living in the lights and the stars. You're enjoying wearing this, wearing that, doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
But then it comes to a point where you're just like, why?
Yeah,
In the sense that
What am I doing?
in the sense
What's
that
the point of this?
I've done it.
Do ask yourself.
I've done it now.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. Like that box has been ticked. So like what I mean by like goalposts which are moving. Now I'd say, cool. Those times were litty. They were sick.
Oh, unbelievable.
Good memories.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, like they were some of the times which, looking back, bro, like it's some of the memories which will last a lifetime.
Sensational.
Yeah.
They
However,
can't take it away.
with everything good, there's always sacrifice. There's always compromise. And for me, for example, I'm 25, enjoyed that early 20s, mid 20s to the fullest. But now I'm like, out of all of that time, I'm still in the same job, but man's still single, isn't it?
Been through that,
Bro,
we're here.
it's big facts.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
in terms of goalposts, yeah, one thing I would like to say to the people is, just because you have this aspiration, when you reach it, it's not always what it seems. Kind of like all that glistens isn't gold, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things which it overcovers and overshadows. Like now, like especially in the lockdown, did it?
For real.
Everyone's now like, yeah, this girl, like, oh yeah, my girl this, oh my girl that, yeah, my girl this. Nah, real talk.
Yeah.
You're in office late, you're out after work,
Yeah.
living up,
Yeah.
larging up life, doing this, doing that. And you're just like, that's the one bit I sacrificed. So for me now, going forward, yeah, it's a bit of stability.
100.
Just like for me, success is waking up, going to sleep, having something stable, having something which you can cherish, nurture, take it on. And it's one of those things where you kind of have some sort of companionships, some sort of like understanding, some sort of mutual understanding with yourself and with kind of someone else, because bro, like we're getting to an age where time's waiting for no man, you know.
So this is our thing.
Time's waiting for no man.
This is going to be my thing to the mandem. Do we think that, and it's something that sort of we, in our group chats anyways, when we're speaking, we always touch upon, because obviously we've grown with each other and we've also seen each other's evolution. But do we think that there is sometimes an association or like a combination of success comes with age, or like there's certain like boundaries that you have to have hit by a certain age? Like, what do the mandem think?
I think it's a tough one, because I think in this society, like you said, whether it be with the Instagrams and everything like that, you're looking at all this glitz and glamour and you're seeing people that are a certain age living it up.
Yeah.
And they're portraying this lifestyle, which is giving the younger generation the idea of, I need to be like this at a certain age. I don't think it's like that.
Yeah.
I think you got to live life at your own pace.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you're going to be living life as a roller coaster because you're trying to live a life that you can't maintain.
And what life
And
is
that's
that?
the key.
You know?
You need to, you know what I mean? Like, it comes to things like you touched on living that luxury life. Do you know what I mean? I think personally, someone who's not even got 5 bags in their account and they're buying £400 fucking Balenciaga sliders or Louis Vuitton bags or like could be anything.
Living without,
You're a
living out
dickhead.
there,
You're a dickhead. What are you doing?
when you're doing things like
Brother,
that,
if you
living out
can't
there
provide for you can't provide for yourself, can't provide for your family, but you've got to have, but you've got a 3-rack LV bag. Come on, rent's only 600 a month. Like, come on.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But relaying that back to age, I think, you know, certain people at a younger age, they want these luxury things. But the way I would suggest it to them is take it slow. Like, do things at your own pace and you'll find, like, live that luxury in the future. Because why are you trying to live something that you can't live up to? Do you know what I mean? But
That's
work
the problem
hard
with a lot of these, like,
and you can
teenagers
play
nowadays,
hard.
you know? That's the problem with a lot of
I think it's
these
terrible
teenagers,
for
you
them
know?
because I mean, like, imagine if you're like 17, 18 and touching on what you said about Instagram and touching on what you said about that celebrity culture. Imagine that you're like a 17-year-old boy and you're like, you know, you've got all these feelings, you want to try, it's a normal thing, you want to fit in and stuff, right? And in all these school environments and stuff, you're now starting to see people starting to stunt on their peers for no reason other than just for clout. You know?
Stunting is a big one, yeah.
Stunting for
Stunt.
You know what, yeah? I'm going to quickly divert on that, you know? And this is one for the viewers. Don't get entrenched with all of these shiny lights, this brand, that brand, this brand. And because, and I want to speak on it briefly, this new trend which is happening online, yeah, about broke shaming, it has to be stopped. Just because
terrible.
you are wearing this, wearing that, doing this, doing that, you have no right and no thing to chat on another person's success here and just to like look down at another person, you know.
Facts.
And that's blown up big recently, you know.
Yeah,
For real.
bro. Yeah.
And I would go as far as saying, them people that think they live this luxury life when you're really not, humble yourself. And don't look down on other people because they have less of you, because they're probably working twice as hard than you are, and you might have just had it given it to you.
And
Do
you
know
know
what
what
I
the
mean?
maddest thing is? The times that they're enjoying and smiling, they're probably enjoying and smiling more than you.
Yeah. The others are burning inside. They think,
Therefore, but this is it for me because it's like you man touched on in terms of like the expectations when it comes to, you know, broke shame and all of that. Like where you're always going through a journey. You get me? So you're always gonna be on a journey where when you're younger as well. Like we were all there, bro. Like when you're trying to find yourself, trying to impress this gal, trying to impress that gal, you know, trying to, you know, fit in with the mandem and just really trying to find an identity that you think people will fuck with to a certain degree. Do you know what I mean? But I think when you get older, when you realise that, and that's what I meant by like happiness, peace and prosperity, you kind of get to a stage where you're like, bro, I don't really care. Like as long as I've got happiness within myself, I'm good, and I can go out and create memories and just have a laugh. Then that's the key thing. But I think people go on that journey and they don't realise that yet until they get to a certain age. So you go through a lot of experience and growing, but fam, I just think if you want to wear your Reeboks or if you want to wear whatever you want to wear them as long as you're enjoying
listen, if
life,
you got
bro.
drip, yeah, you make it look good, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yourself.
do your thing. You ain't got to live up to these Instagram lives, like trying to tell you to buy all this and that.
But this is
ridiculous.
it. So as well, and this is something else with success as well. And sure, I know this is something you feel quite strongly about, the social media landscape. Like that, for example, this whole desire for, because you know, influencers. Influence.
Everyone's about influence.
Everyone's on this.
Whether it's little like
thing.
Love Island or
You get me?
do you want to make it?
So, what do we think of that? Like in terms of people kind of pushing and really, I wouldn't say desperate, but people are really trying to get that blue tick or get that verification, and that is kind of success.
Do you want to know something that's really depressing?
Talk to me.
I mean, I don't want to dull the tone of this podcast, but it's so crazy. I read an article the other day where they did research on asking, that classic, what do you want to be when you're older, to kids. Yeah? Remember our age, we used to say things like fireman, footballer,
astronaut,
wrestler. Do you know what the kids are saying now?
What?
The kids are literally, verbatim, the kids are saying influencers. They want to be like, I don't know, top of my head, Charlie D'Amelio or like TikTok or something, or like, I don't know, someone else on Instagram. It's like, it's gone from such a variety of career choices, albeit, astronaut, it'd be crazy if he was, but that'd be amazing if he was, to now influencer, to something that's just so, like, just drab, dry. Like, in essence, what does an influencer do?
They want him to go from going to space to now just posting videos on their iPhone. That's like, always live.
Like, like if my child had said to me, I want to become an astronaut, I'd back it. I know it'd be difficult and it's a strenuous process to become an astronaut. But then what are you doing when your kid turns around and says, I want to be an influencer?
But
like,
it's hard though, because I think this is the thing, and I think for me, and I can only speak from my perspective, man, I'm not really big on the socials, innit? The only thing man really does on the socials is, like, when I'm bored, I just go on, like, Facebook and just laugh at videos and that. That's the only reason I'm going on socials, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But for me, I guess because it's got so much magnitude behind it, and like everyone sees these influencers seem to be living the bougie lifestyle, and they're like, I want that. It's like my sister, I know she wanted to shout out, so there you go, you little mug. My sister, she was talking to me the other day, and she was talking about becoming like a social media marketing manager sort of thing, because she saw this thing on TikTok where this girl like travels a lot and goes to all these different places and does that. And I asked her, I no disrespect her, but I just asked her, like, what is it about the actual job that you like? And she was just like, she travels a lot. So there you go, straight away, it's the lifestyle.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's all of these things that sort of tie into it. Like, people see sometimes success as just like the lifestyle, and social media and why people want to become influencers has influenced that, to say. But I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to be an influencer per se, but it's just the reasons, and that's a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying?
But do you know what it is? Like, taking it one step further from what Jay was saying, there's a lot of potential that can be taken from these like so-called influencer jobs, roles, titles, whatever. And I know 1 2 men who have made their bread on Instagram and large them up one time. You know who you
big
are.
stuff.
And then they're not just content with just going outside and taking pictures, this. They have gone out. They've realized, all right, cool, this is giving me a means to make some money. And they realize that, for example, like, good looks don't last forever.
No.
And they realize that these lifestyles don't last forever.
Facts.
So then they've figured out ways how to utilize and capitalize on all this money that they're making now. So then when they have a future, not when they have a future, sorry, in the future, they will be able to be like, cool, I made my bread that way, but now I've run it through this, I've run it through that, I've gained this skill, gained that skill, and now the sky's the limit.
Fly me to the moon, innit?
The sky's the limit, trust me.
What I will say though is I would never discredit anyone's line of work. You can do whatever you want.
No, of course,
and that does include influencers and stuff. I think the issue that I have with influencers as a whole, it could be anyone, is that the perception of the work that they do is easy, right? Like, when I look at it on Instagram, it's just, he or she is posed in front of a pool, or they've got like their product placement here and they're just going like, drink this, here's discount code there, blah, blah, blah. But there's tiers to it, isn't it? There's levels to all these kind of roles and stuff.
100%.
And, I think for the influencers that actually do it for like the genuine reasons, it's hard to say genuine influencer.
Because no one knows.
It's an oxymoron, really, isn't it? But there are influencers out there who do good with that platform, as well as influencers who are just kind of downright just like silly with it. Like there was that. Do you remember the one on what was it? This morning or Good Morning?
Yeah, I remember the one guy.
I think trying to say I'm a key worker as well.
That.
What's your key working? Dipping in the pool every 20 minutes. But you know what? Shout out to them, because large up you, if that's what you're doing and you're in Dubai dipping in the pool and that's your job, well done, innit? Because you have achieved something and that's successful to you. Well done.
You know, he's like Firms Show was saying, about I don't know if it's that hard, brother. They might be in the pool, yeah, but they'd be banging gym.
Yeah.
No pain, no gain, innit?
You'll be,
Men and women, bro.
brother,
Facts.
you've been mashing work on your keyboards, doing this, replying to this email, that email, this email. Brother, they're running, they're gymming.
It's true.
I think that's the difference you got to take from it. It's not
hard work.
this
you know?
saying that everyone's out there is the perception of living your best life. And that's what I think everyone goes off and they portray it as, oh, I'm living my best life. I'm doing up this, I'm doing up that. But they put a lot of hard work into it as well.
So
it's not as easy as it seems.
It's their craft.
It's like anything.
I saw this young little Vice video on YouTube one time, and what it makes me laugh when you say that out loud. Yeah, there was one influencer who they had on. He was literally like, "I hate working out. I hate running. I hate this gym.
Well, I've got to do it.
But like you lot hate doing certain parts of your job.
Yeah.
This is a part I've just got to do because
facts.
it's my livelihood. This is my career. Like it's like as much as people say, oh, it's like it's not this, it's not that. I think credit where credit's due. You know, like
I'll give them
Yeah, for real.
Flowers, bro.
like even if you're not doing anything, getting out and working out once or twice a day, doing this, doing that, changing up your hair for this shoot, changing up your hair for that shoot, doing your makeup, doing this, doing that, all these different looks. Yeah. You need a lot of patience for that, you know.
Bro, trust.
You need
It's
a
process.
lot of patience.
It's a process.
And it's not just, like you're sitting in one studio in London, they're doing a green screen. Bro, if you're hitting it,
They're on the move, bro.
you're on
Do you know what else comes
move, bro.
100%.
with the influencers and all of this? It's a bit of fame to it now as well.
Yeah.
Because it's not like famous people, just celebrities that, you know, musicians or whatever
Exactly.
that you see on TV.
Exactly.
YouTube, all this, there's some of them are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Huge.
Big time.
Way bigger than that. So how do you lot would say, if you was an influencer or whatever, how would you perceive fame as success? What would it mean to you?
What a question, bro.
I think I'll answer that one.
Loaded for me.
I think it's still
Joe was to jump on mic.
it would still touch on my sort of original statement on success, the impacts that you make, right? Like for example, like if you're a YouTuber, and you've got millions of followers and you're able to have like such a wide voice to spread out to people, I think having the ability to be able to garner thousands of pounds or dollars towards charities from just your followers is something that I would sort of impact my sort of fame.
Definitely.
You know,
Love that.
I'd say it'd be a good metric to it, because I think if you're able to sort of impact any lives with your fame, then I think that's when you can use fame for good. I'd just say it just impacts on my original statement.
No, facts.
Would you want that fame over everything that comes with it? Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I think. So this is what happens. So this is the separate between someone who does good with what they're doing and someone who just gets lost in the sauce. Because if you feel like, and this is the thing, so when they get to a certain level of sort of fame, or when they get to certain heights they've hit, sometimes you sort of hit the ceiling and you're like, what next? And then when you're always thinking about what next, you get lost in the sauce, bro.
Trying to get
Because
bigger.
then that pressure, that pressure builds. You're like, oh, mad, I've got 200k off this video. Let me try and get 400k, get 600k, 800, got a mil. Where am I going now? So you're always in a constant battle of what can I do more of, and then that's when it becomes a little bit selfish, and you kind of forget about what's going on in terms of what you're putting out there, and also like Bilz said, what's going on around you. So that's why it's important to find a balance. 100%. But then for me as well, something that I would say is so important for anything, because obviously we're talking about influencers and their success and all of that, but mandem, the absolute key, and something that we should definitely touch on, relationships, bro. Relationships.
And not just relationship, not just with of the opposite gender, but like with your
in
peers
general, bro. In general, like the absolute key, and I think especially after everything that everyone's been through this past how many months, lockdown here, lockdown there, tears here, tears there. Like relationships are so much more magnified now as to how important they are to not just like this idea of success, but just like happiness, bro. And if you're able to do what you're doing, whether it be you're an influencer, whether it be you're a footballer, whether it be whatever you're doing, if you can stay in touch
even if you're just doing your desk job, you know, like,
it's not 9 to 5 thing, 9 to 5 thing. As long as you're doing what you're doing, but maintaining those relationships, you'll feel so much happier.
That's it. And I think from what you just said there, hit the nail on the head. Because like for me personally, I was gonna say like I wouldn't want anything to do with fame because I feel like it's very fake.
Yeah,
And like you said,
definitely.
with relationships, I am so content. Like with life, it's so successful because even having you, man, do you know what I mean? Close friends, having relationships from back in sixth form, back in secondary school, even primary school, bro.
Yeah.
There's people that I've known for 20 years that I'm still close with.
Come on.
Bro,
Seeing them, you know, having
Mileage.
babies and all that. So, bruv, nail on the head with that one. Like, I think that's so important into just feeling, like you said, like happiness and feeling like everything's a success.
No, 100%.
And you know what comes from that as well? People keep you grounded. And when you're kept grounded, that ties in so nicely with just your aura and just how you feel on a day to day.
And that's it. You got to keep like your good ones around you. Do you know what I mean? You don't want any bad energy, and it keeps you humble in a way.
Definitely.
No, because they were there for you from when you had
from the day.
nothing,
Wow.
and they're there with you when you've got everything.
And they'll still
Exactly.
be there with you if you've got nothing.
It's the one.
And then when you get everything again,
Yeah, then it's like, oh yeah,
ones that are
we saying beers on you tonight, yeah.
Nah, you know what? I think it's this whole YouTube, Instagram, as like a quick little final comment. I'd say it's one of them ones where it has a lot of potential for the users of it to be very successful. However, the actual success of it is, I think, is what the person actually puts out there, the intention of the person put out there, and what the audience takes away from it. Because a lot of these influencers, I believe, it's occasionally maybe forget how big their audience is. And
Consciously as
and I
well.
think that's a very big thing which will define someone's success. Because say you've got 250k followers, 500k followers, and you start talking nonsense about a topic, or you'll just start talking nonsense on someone, yeah? You might think, yeah, cool, you got 100k, 400k retweets, likes,
Loud.
this and the other. But if that's pumping out toxic energy,
Yeah.
like just badness, then
Is that what you want, really?
no, but that's the point I'm trying to make. A lot of people would define that success because that picture which was underneath, which was above the caption, of that madness, brother, it's blown.
Yeah, we'll talk.
And the thing is, a lot of people, because of how easy it is to get an audience, overlook the fact that it's not about what they put out, it's about how many interactions they get. And I think success is more from what I can see, is like what you put out. And obviously interactions are great because it will help you like have direction, focus, and like what you lot said, it keeps you grounded.
Definitely.
But then the internet is such a mad place that if you get sucked into the vacuum chamber,
Oh, bro.
Jeez.
Curtains.
you're finished, in my opinion.
I think linking to relationships as well is very important to have like friends from, you know, your early days, because they'll be the real ones to be able to see you from the outside and tell you things like, you know, that was a bit off key, or are you sure you should be doing
100%.
this? Because I see a lot of the times, the
Bro,
problem
you
is-
need those people.
Yeah,
You need those people.
let's say for example Love Island. Yeah, people they'll go on there. They're like with people for like what 6 to 8 weeks, and they meet their best friend in like the second week.
Friends for life,
you know?
innit?
and you're just there
Lifey
like,
for
oh,
lifey.
it's like if I had a friend who went onto Love Island, right, and they said, oh, they just met their best friend, you know, in the villa, I'd just be like, so what was it? It's like if one of you lot went onto Love Island, yeah, and you were like, oh yeah, nah, Gaz is my best mate.
Like, you ain't called me your best mate for years. Not bad.
You ain't even giving me a nickname.
So I've known you for 8 years, and you want to be, you know, doing like 8 years, you know, and it's just that, and then they'll come out, and then they'll just end up doing madness, like, you know, they'll get cancelled.
Yeah.
That's my other fear as well, getting cancelled. You know, because it's like it gets worse the more famous you get.
100.
Yeah, 100%,
You know?
100%.
But that's why I think that relationships are so key. Because
Yeah.
when you've got good people around you, they'll keep you in check.
Exactly.
If the people you have relationships with don't feel comfortable enough to say to you, bro, I love you, cut that. Then you got to
Or
ask
pull you
yourself-
up where you made a mistake.
You got to ask yourself,
100%.
should
Are they
they
your
be
guy?
my
Yeah.
people? Are they my
Yeah.
guys? Like, everyone in this room here, if any of you did something off key, obviously I wouldn't bait you up, but I'd be
But
like,
behind
yo,
closed
like,
doors or like in private,
yeah,
I'd be
like,
like, yo,
talk like
like,
men,
yeah,
like, bro,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that can't run, like, you got to do better sort of thing. But it comes from a place of love. And that's why I think people kind of sometimes get lost, because that love that they need kind of evaporates because they're so focused on other things. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
You know, like
Take like I don't know, someone like the Sidemen, for example, right? Big up them, they're doing massive things.
Doing bits.
And like you said, they've got people that they've been friends with for years. Although they
Yeah.
probably met younger before they'd say blown up. Like they're all close knit to each other and all in the same field doing what they're doing, just keeping each other in check, not getting too big for themselves. Whereas I feel like in certain other aspects of whether it be, say, people that go on Love Island and things like that, you start getting into a crowd of, am I a Z-list celebrity now? And then you're trying to work your way up. And then you're trying to create new circles for yourself and be in other people. And I feel like sometimes you might actually forget your friends and like where you came from. And like you said, get lost in the source.
Do you know what I think is a very good example, which I'm going to touch on briefly, is like footballers.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If you look at a few footballers here, for example.
Now, Ranger, shout out. The real motherfucker.
That's a perfect example.
Yeah, that's a good example.
He was what? He was gassed by the people who he had around him. He chucked, like he admitted it, yeah? If I'm not mistaken, yeah? He chucked away, like, not chucked away, but like he stopped linking some of his other boys. Like he found a new knit of friends, this. And then there's no stability, there's no sense of like motivation. In the sense of like, you look at some of the like most successful footballers, for example, yeah? And even if you look at some who are not as successful, like successful, I mean like Messi and Ronaldo. Them two, they were settled. They had their relationship. They had like relationship with the girl, with their friends. Like you hear interviews that their friends who were with them in the favelas and the slums, this that, and the other.
with them. Yeah.
Riding,
They're
bro.
now their brethrens.
They're
their
riding.
childhood sweetheart, yeah, who saw them kicking ball barefooted, just doing
Just
this
on
and
the
the other,
road, licking their toe off the pavement.
wearing
bro.
braces, doing this, doing that, yeah.
They secured the bag though.
Yeah, nah, yeah. But then they're the ones who are like thriving now
Yeah,
because
no,
because if once they have their relationships patterned, yeah, they can just focus on what they need to do. And then even like even ballers who haven't hit them heights, for example, like Ashley Young, yeah, 40 years old, he's still kicking ball into Milan.
Big him up, though.
Is he actually?
Big him
I
up,
didn't even
bro.
know that.
Yeah, big him up, bro.
He's
Big him
had
up.
this settled.
Engine.
He, like him and like for example James Milner, these kind of people, yeah, they've had
Big him up.
Thought that guy was done out of United.
settled.
Nah, boy.
all of them like what's it called again, like childhood sweethearts, this
Yeah.
and they all say like my boys, look at the school pictures, they're the same boys who are
Still
who
with
are there
them.
now,
Still riding.
this that and the other. And it's one of them ones where I think the importance of relationships, like what you three were saying, is very much underrated and underspoke about in our times today, you know. And I think it's one of them ones where I think people need to really value, and once you appreciate the value of the relationships you have, that's when I think
That's it.
like that's another contributor, or like you said, goalpost of success. Yeah, once you get that appreciation, being like, you know what, I can breathe easy. I have that sense of
Stability.
contentment.
Yeah.
I'm just happy.
Yeah.
That is, I think, a big factor of success.
And I want to say as well, yeah, one thing.
which is linked to maturity as well, you know.
Therefore, and for me, one thing that comes from that is when you have your real ones around you, because this is like a little phase, I would say, that people go through, is wanting to be friends with everyone.
Yeah.
When you've got your people, and when you know who are your people, you don't want to be...
I had to clap to that one.
Bro,
big,
no.
big, that is.
Bro,
So like you
salute.
said earlier, going through your journey when you're younger.
Yeah.
You sometimes you got to learn stuff.
Yes.
And then know, right,
Who's
you know what,
real?
I don't need, like, I don't give a fuck who likes me.
Bro,
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
It
Bro,
don't matter. I've got my
that is the
people and that's
key.
it.
That is the key, because the problem is, yeah, and I'm not going to say that there's an age that this starts from and an age when this ends, because some people are always going through a constant victory of finding themselves and trying to please others. When you stop pleasing others and you have a reciprocated relationship
yourself.
on both sides, of course, you've got to think about number one, but as long as you know your friendship is pure, or your relationship that you have is pure, and you don't feel like you have to be someone other than yourself, that's success, bro.
100%.
talk
That's
right
success,
there.
bro.
100%.
And that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning about staying true to your core values.
Fam.
Like integrity, loyalty, honesty. Like if you got that and you know who your real ones are, you're
Nice.
going to be good, bro.
You're nice.
But don't live in a fakeness
No.
where you're like,
Don't get lost.
you know what? I don't really like this guy, or I don't really like this person. Like they're getting bad energy from him. Cut them out.
Yeah.
Because trust me, stick to your gut, innit?
100%.
Your gut is always right.
100%. So
My pops, my granddad used to always say this one bar: be wary of someone who who pleases everyone else and is best friends with everyone.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
for real.
And when I was a youth,
Yeah.
I never understood it. I'd be like, oh, isn't that the guy? But then once I'm growing older, I've realised that is one of the most factual statements that's ever been said.
100%.
Them dons, yeah.
Working
They
overtime.
try and like throw you under the bus
Yeah.
to please some random don that you ain't
Yeah.
even met. When you're like,
Or he's met him. He's met him
my
twice
brother, you know?
at my yard.
Yeah,
Trust
yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, that's it. That is it.
the Mazzoline. Like,
You're thinking, nah,
allow it.
Yeah, shout out me on Instagram, shout out me
real.
on my WhatsApp. Yeah.
Brother, it's good to meet you, bro. Oh, yeah, I'll see you soon.
Extra.
Yeah.
Doing
100%,
too
yeah.
much.
Next week I'll link you. Still. Me, man, what?
oh, it's crazy. Man.
That's true, but also as well, yeah. With the relationship, so like a stem from that as well. So because obviously we touched on a lot of the influencer stuff and the stuff that's in the public eye, but even outside of the public eye, like if you're doing your office show, if you're doing it like most of us man are, that's calm as well. That is so calm. But and as long as feel like you've got peace and contentment and you're working towards something as well, that's key, because I think this idea of material success, that's not really that big of a deal. I think like at the end of the day, if you're working towards like, I don't know, like buying a crib or trying to gain something like some capital as well, that's big, because like for me as well, where I'm at as well, like saving and your perspective changes and 100%. You want to do things that are going to set you up as well. So like I think success can also be if you're making like acquirements and acquisitions that are going to benefit you and those who you've got those relationships with.
Success
100%.
from a view of progression.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like Sho said, like we ain't little youths to be out in the field like playing around doing fuckeries. Like obviously 25 is still very young.
Yeah.
But when we were in sixth form and we was doing absolute shenanigans, we weren't thinking about all of that stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? But like when you get older as well, and I know we're not putting like a buffer on age, but when you do go through certain things, you grow as well, and you want certain things like a yard. You want to be in a position of stability. You want to be able to, host your brethrens and get the mandem round. Like, see how I sitting like this, if we're in one of our yards chilling. Like to you, if you're able to bring your people with you, that's success as well, bro.
100%.
Touching on that though, talking about like so when we were younger and stuff, do you feel, well, not do you feel, how have your goalposts to success changed? Have they changed that much?
In the context of age, with like maturity.
Yeah.
I think, like Jay said, when you're younger, especially for me, you never really have, I didn't anyway, and this is normal for a lot of people, because I know there's a lot of people out there, they might be watching this thinking, well, I don't really have a plan. And they might be 18, 19, whatever. That's normal. Like, you don't need to have a plan at a young age.
It's fine not to know what to do.
You
It's
do like,
fine.
like you get older, then you do start to think, right, I want this or I want that. But as long as it's the right things, then you're on the right path. As long as you're doing it at your own pace, like I reiterated on what I said before, just do things at your own pace. Like nothing is a rush. So, yeah, man.
Don't follow the crowd too. Like, don't.
Yeah, don't be pressured.
Yeah, if you are at that age of where 18, 19, don't, for example, apply to a uni degree in accounting and finance just because your boys have done it. Like, he's obviously done it.
No, but people do that. Because like, I'm gonna go uni with my boy just to live the life and have that kind of environment. You know what? That's fine as well. There's plenty of people out there that have done it. Do you know what I mean? Hold a bit of uni debt, but you got experience in it, and that's it. You learn, so you move.
But like, that's for me as well. Talking about uni, that was a massive goalpost for me when I was like 19. I spent the whole time at uni thinking, bro, I'm gonna
Large yourself up.
I'm going to graduate and I'm going to get this and I'm going to feel like that's it. All the pieces are going to start falling together, get my grad job and stuff. I graduated, got my grad job, and I was still feeling like, there was still more.
Am I missing something?
Exactly.
Something, yeah.
That was what it was. And it's touching on still my original point on the impact. I was like, I've got my degree now, but I'm not really doing much with it, and are worried about, like, you know, being at a certain age and not having stuff done. And I don't know if it's just an Asian thing or if it's just, you know, a societal thing now, but there's always like a pressure of like having to be at a certain place at a certain age, and if I'm not there, I need to pick up the pace. And, you know, especially with like things like savings and like career progression and just everything.
But to caveat that, I would say, and there's like a famous Jamaican saying, and it's a song as well, and my dad, like, bless him, old man, loves to sing a lot and like chat his nonsense and dance and that. But he's got pearls of wisdom. And there's a tune that literally summarizes everything. Too much watchy. The problem is people are always watching, and you're always watching. So you're thinking, like you just said, Sho, oh right, if I'm not here, that something's missing. Do I need to be doing more? Do I need to be this? Do I need to be doing that? If you're not watching and looking at everyone else and focusing on you, because I think people need to understand, like Bill said in the beginning, success is individual. So you can't say just because he's patterned and got the yard, just because he's patterned and engaged, or she or this person, that don't mean you ain't successful. It's okay to not be where someone else is. You get me? Like, everyone's clock is different. So people need to...
Everyone's journey to happiness is very different.
Yeah, so people need to understand that, like, for you and for all of us, we're probably still on that journey where, you know, we're happy. But like a famous Love Island bro as well, big up Wes, I'm happy, but I could be happier. Okay, big man. But no, like, you know, you're always going to be trying to find ways to improve that happiness. But as long as you know that your thing is your thing, you don't have to do what the next man is doing. It's fine, bro. And I think that is what everyone needs to remember. Like, it's okay sometimes to not be okay, but don't worry about what the next man is doing, because the more you worry about what the next man's doing, and you lose sight.
And don't worry about what next man is thinking of you. That I think is
that comes before the other one as well.
Because I think that's a very big thing, you know, which people are very fast to tarnish or play down their own successes.
Yeah.
In the sense that, say you've done your thing, like what shows example about going uni. Cool. You went uni, you graduated, held yourself up, well done. It maybe took you 3 months to get the graduate job, as opposed to having it ready from your year before your internship job.
Yeah.
Inside, you're thinking, before you graduate, whilst you're doing interview, shit, I need to get this pattern because X, Y, and Z has already done it. Shit, I can't fall behind. Can't be doing this. I can't be doing that. But who told you that it's too late?
Bro, factual.
Who told you that it's too late?
I think as well.
Like, who said that to you? Maybe out of a 400 people course, 10 people might have it. By the 10 people, you'll have 5 of them who make the most noise. 5 of them you wouldn't even know you had it. So in my opinion, it's one of them ones where you should not be craving the fruits of other people's words.
Factual, man.
As opposed to you craving the contentment of yourself. That self-fulfillment, that self-contentment is, I think, which is something which is very much overshadowed in this whole conversation of success, whereby, like what Jordan said, the relationships bit, the work bit, the finances bit. Listen, your road to your deposit on your house, for example, is going to be different to yours, and yours. And just because he did at 25, he did at 27, he did at 22, he did at 30, for example.
That's calm.
At the end of the day, what happened? You all got a yard?
You're all there.
You all got a yard.
You're
Got keys
all
in
there.
a full wall, bruv. And a
Bro,
roof.
you're all there.
It's all the same thing, man.
And that's what I was going to say, was like, I know you kind of touched on pressures from parents as well.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, we're a totally different generation
Yeah.
to what our parents were. And you said about buying yards,
Yeah.
I'll jump my mum and dad. They got their yard young. They were together from a young age. Can't remember the exact thing, but bought the house for 80-something thousand. Yeah.
Come on.
This is years ago. So in their heads, they're like, yeah, but you know, we had bought a house and done this all by 21. I'm like, she's like, you're 25 now. Obviously, I think you just want me out the door.
Yeah. They want you out the gap, bro. They want you
I'll
out the
be gone
gap.
soon, man.
Yeah, they want you out the gap.
Large arms on the box.
You know, it's like,
She's realised, get him out
you
the
can't
gap.
do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yards are expensive these days. Everything's
Ridiculous.
through the roof.
Especially in
So
London, man. 8K in
comparisons
London.
from different generations as well
100%.
is a big one, because you can't compare yourself to someone who's an older generation who might have made success from when they was younger. Alan Sugar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, no one's going to be the next entrepreneur. This man done it when it was all booming. It was all going off. Now we're in a lockdown. No one's buying nothing. You know what I mean?
You can't be buying the Amazon skyboxes anymore.
There's not even, because touching on Alan Sugar, bro, he was doing it at the time. First of all, there was no internet.
Yeah.
So if you were popping and selling, like, let's say, for water bottles or pillows or whatever, bro, you could hold your turf for a while. Nowadays,
Markets and all that.
Yeah.
bro, if you want to sell something and you go on Amazon, I guarantee you in 2 weeks' time, Bezos has stole your idea.
100.
Bezos, no, that's
Amazon
it.
Basic special, innit?
That's gone. It is. Let's say if you invent something,
You better get that patent in.
because then your thing will be like $15.99, and then Amazon Basics will be like, okay,
They'll
fuck it,
undercut your price,
$6.99.
innit? Yeah.
$6.99 and the next day for free.
Yeah.
And say you manage to match the price, yeah. Best believe there's gonna be a settlement or a buyout on your
Yeah, 100. He's smart though, because he's retired. He's like, cool, I've left that. Like, he's put his feet up, he's gone.
Yeah, now he's doing all the
Yeah,
space
large him
stuff.
up.
Like, that's
He's done his
see,
thing.
for me, I'll only touch on it a little bit. I used to think that was success. I used to think if I can become like the next Bezos or Zuckerberg or blah blah blah, you know, I'm living, I'm good. But in the recent years, I've just come to realize, like, bro, I don't want that pressure.
No.
I don't want that pressure. Say if a military uprising happens in like Myanmar, I'm getting blamed for it. I'm getting blamed. Bruv, I only went into Facebook to pre, and now I'm getting, you know.
And now I'm here getting pressured and that.
That's it.
war crimes and all them things.
You know, it's like, oh, this is all your fault. And it's like, bro, I just invented the like button, man.
We're getting that impeachment.
Trust me, man. That's another dangerous thing as well. Like, I think you know, linking success to like the names of things, like in jobs or in like your, I know I said earlier, like impacts that you make, but like having to want that sort of big impact can be detrimental too, because, you know, like with all this like Facebook stuff, it can get dangerous to the point where you have to start thinking of so much that the original goal that you did it for is just now gone. It's mutated into something else that's just made you realize, like, actually, I don't want this anymore. And then you end up, you know, leaving the thing that you said that you'd stay here forever for.
Yeah.
And what do you do after that? Then you basically just tell yourself, that's it, I'm not doing anything anymore now.
Yeah.
And that goes, I think, for a lot of people who think, right, to be successful, I need to be at the very top. I need to be better than everybody else. But I don't think it's that. I think it's, if you're, like you said, happy doing something, yeah? You might be a fireman, for example. Do you know what I mean? But you're happy because you're like, I'm out there, I'm saving lives.
I'm doing my thing.
Something.
Yeah, I'm doing my
You know what I
thing.
mean, you found your vocation in a way, and like you found your passion. Like, I big up anyone that's doing a job. It might not be the most paid in the world, but if that's your dream job and that's what you love doing, whether it be, I don't know, traveling, whether it be working as a chef,
Probably even a hairdresser, bruv. You know what I mean?
anything,
It's
bro,
like,
like, that's your passion. Do you know what I mean? You ain't got to be the richest person in the world for you to feel like you're successful. I bet them people there are feeling more successful because they're like, "Do you know what? I'm doing what I do.
Exactly.
what I love."
And this is it as well. It's like, we used to think that if I'm on big P's or if I had this job title, this is it. But bro, a lot of people probably think as well, because everyone's got different responsibilities. You get me? So if someone's in a role or someone's in a job and they're managing to hold it down and be happy and they got a family or everyone's circumstances different, you're nice, bruv. Like, I remember I used to think like, rah, man wanted the lights, man wanted everything, and as we probably all did. But now when you get older, you also appreciate that people who are holding it down and doing their thing, that's success as well. Like, if you're able to be in a job or able to be doing something, whether it's self-employed, whether you're working for someone, if you're able to do something, regardless as to how much you're getting paid, as long as you're doing your thing and it's very much your thing, it's good.
Even if you're on furlough, innit? Big up Richard. One more time. Why you got to end
Get him off, bro. Get him off, bro.
Long it out.
Look at him.
Long it out.
He's trying to get a fucking contract of Adidas, bro. Get him out of here, man. Get him out of here.
Shout out Free Stripes.
But, yeah,
Definitely.
I think another one I wanted to talk about was values. So obviously we've all talked about like what success has meant to us individually, but how do we sort of define what our values are?
I think, yeah, do you know what? The key in terms of value is, like I say, you have to be honest, pure, and make sure you have a clear head. Because without that, honesty They say it's the best policy. 90% of the times I think it's the best policy. But more time than not, if you've got a real honest approach and to life in general, and you go about things the right way, and you build your relationships based on that and just on purity, you're good. So like for me, when you try too hard and when you're not doing things that you actually would do, and you're veering off course, then that's when you kind of lose yourself. So I think for me, you have to have an honest heart, you have to have an honest mind, and work hard, bro.
The way I look at that, is I think it's a game of intention. In the sense that if you are intending to do the right thing and you approach it with a clean heart and you come at it correct, I think that's very important, because I think the way your approach is, I think impacts everything. Because say you had a good intention today, you did something, that means that you can look back at your past actions were done with good intentions.
Thanks.
You do a good action today, you look forward, and in the future you'll be thinking, I did that.
Yeah.
It banged. It didn't bang, but I did it being true and one to myself with the correct intentions. And if you do that, that goes back to what I said earlier about success. You can wake up with a smile on your face. You can go to bed at comfort. And I think it's one of them things where morality is individualistic, but it's not individualistic. However, there are like societal norms of what we assume and take to be normal.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of them ones where if your intention is bad, chances are you're not a great person.
And you'll get found out.
And exactly that.
And you'll get
exactly that. And once you get found out, your whole facade, your whole persona, your whole this, your whole that, your whole standing, finished. Is that success? The room answered the question. What is it? Success? Of course it's not.
No way.
Success when you fall down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who's saying, Tom?
Do you know what? There's one thing I wanted to touch on, because I think morality is a big thing. And we're talking about this glitz and glamour life before. And I know there's a lot of, let's say, for example, the drill scene or the rapper scene that is quite big right now, and it's very influential on a lot of kids. Now we've grown up, from when it first started. So let's not lie, like we've been through it.
We've seen it evolve. This
is a joke. Like these kids, the 15, 16, you're not a gangbanger, G. I'm not gonna lie to you, you're not a gangbanger. But aside from that, obviously everyone's got their own path, and however they make their money, do you know what I mean? Do your own thing. But people that are banging fraud or robbing people or selling drugs, for example, I'm going to say it right now, you're a waste man. Straight up, you're a waste man. And like, I always believe, that good things happen to good people. And it's like karma, bad things happen to bad people. So I don't want to hear nobody shouting, free up my boy, when you're catching an M charge. Lock him up! Lock him up! What are you shouting free my boy for? You can get locked up with him. Like, no, I don't want to hear
Joint
it.
enterprise.
So when it comes down to morality...
I could go away with that one. I could go with that law already, you know what I mean?
But for morality, I just believe like good things happen to good people, innit? So that's my stance on it. Just do good, live an honest life, and put good into the world, and you will see good things come back.
100%.
Like, a little scenario happened to me the other week. We all know I'm a bit of a gambling man. And it has its ups and downs, innit?
Of course it does. That's life, baby.
I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And I've always prayed, I said, look, just give me a nice win, do you know what I mean? Because it's long, like, I don't want to do it no more. Like, it's just a nice one.
Just one more win,
The way it happened, right, I picked 2 horses, hadn't even seen their names. And my dad's Uncle John died like a year ago, roughly the same time. Bless his soul, big up him, because he was with me this day. I've looked back at the bet and I've seen the 2 names of his horses that he used to own. So I was like, do you know what? I'm putting that in a double, both 16 to 1. Long story short, man won a nice.
You hit
it.
Come on.
You hit the belly.
He's got
and I was just like, you know what?
Adidas. Come on.
Thank you very much. Like that's my stance. Do
good
things.
Had the gold chain.
Yeah, trust. Last minute purchase. Last minute purchase.
Shining on camera. Come on.
Sugar Daddy Tom and that. Yacht's coming out for you. But listen,
21st of June, be ready.
That's it. 21st of June. I'm there. The ad's down below, innit? Better edit that on, man. But no, that's it. So for me, morality, I think like if you do good things will happen. And that for example is a scenario like
Come on.
don't quit, don't give up, no matter how bad it gets. Like good things will come.
And also as well, yeah, because I know it's something that we've not gone into great detail about, but just like if you have like a change of ideas in terms of if you're thinking, rah, I need to be here, and you're going for something and you change your path, that's blessed as well, because you can never just go on a straight path to somewhere. There's always going to be sort of variances and obstacles in between. So
And that sideway movement,
bruv, you have to.
which you have to get over to
You
go
have
forward.
to take
bro,
steps
you know what I
backward
mean?
to go
Yeah,
forward.
yeah,
You understand?
yeah,
So, like, for people who think that, you know, this is where I need to be and I need to do it on this particular route and just go here, brother, you'll take a few pit stops, get petrol, go back, get me like fill up, refill. Yeah, bruv, like
And
it's
for the
cool.
people doubting themselves after the first trial tribulation, come on, everyone's caught L's.
Yeah, we've been through it.
Don't let anyone
We've been through
make
it.
you think that they're hitting it now and they've never taken an L.
Bruv,
Brother,
they took so many L's.
People
So many
take
L's.
so many losses
So many L's.
and have so many lessons
Yeah, facts.
that's what makes you enjoy the goodness,
Exactly.
the success.
And that humbles you.
100%.
Them L's that you take or them lessons that you learn, they will humble you and they will shape you, man, woman, whatever. It will shape you and it will change your perspective, and it will allow you, when you're, you know, got your relationships with your peoples and you're watching your peoples grow, it will make you want to take them with you. And even if it's not on a sort of level in terms of getting to somewhere on an employment basis, just in terms of happiness, just being able to share the fruits with people.
And I'm gonna take the relationships thing one step further. So you catch it now and you're with a few of your boys. At the time you're like, rah, this is long, you know. At the time you're like, rah, this is long, you know.
Yeah, just thinking, I'm gonna catch some serious form.
or if you catch an L, and all of your boys catch an L, you're there looking at each other, you're there like, this is long,
bad
isn't it?
things,
You're walking home, or driving home, you get a yard and you're like, man. Time's the best of healers.
Yeah. But that's it.
Let it simmer.
That's it.
But that's it. But
And then when you hit it, you man will be busting up saying, fam, remember what happened to us, you know? Remember that when you caught here?
I can think of a few.
Bro, 100%.
But that's it, and that's what you want, man. Like you need to just understand that, bro. Life is a journey, you know. It's a constant journey, and there's going to be so many things that you go through. Don't matter how old you are,
Bruh.
don't matter who you are. Like everyone thinks that they're so different to the next man or the next woman, but you ain't, you know.
Bro, you're really not.
You're not, you know.
You're really not.
Just because you got a young blue tick or just because you got a young this or young that, you're not really that different. And I think people need to realise that it's good. Like, you'll get where you need to get. Just stay humble, you know, stay happy, and make sure you surround yourself with good people. Because I don't care how many peas you're making, I don't care how many yards you have, I don't care how much of whatever else you think you have. If you have not got happiness, peace, and prosperity, then you ain't gonna thrive.
For real.
Big.
You ain't gonna thrive.
So we're talking about obviously like happiness, peace, prosperity, right? That's from your sort of perspective. How do you sort of find your sources for that? Like obviously people might be listening to this and there might be people who are going through the motions and stuff and going, you know, I'm trying to do this and that, but I'm still not feeling happy and stuff. You know, they might be going through things at work or at home. Or how do you like sort of help to keep the trifecta of success up?
For me,
Triple crown right there.
get me. For me, I guess the key thing, and not even to be deep and take it in a deep direction, but just remembering we're alive, we're here. You have to remember
That's
that, and you're in good health.
Especially with everything that's going on this year, you know.
You're in good health. You're here. You get one life. Try and make the most of it, and you just have to put out good into the universe. So for me, my source of happiness is waking up, checking in on everyone. making sure everyone is good, and starting the day off on the right foot.
You didn't check on me for a while.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing you. Wait, man. Shut up, man.
Don't call me out for that, man. But he checks on me still.
But it's just like starting the day off the right way, putting the right energy out to the world, and just making sure that you are doing the things that you should be doing, like waking up and not feeling the pressure, being grateful for the fact you're waking up, bro. Get me? Because a lot of people
breathing easy,
bruv, like you have to bear in mind, like, you're here, so try and put something back into the world, because at the end of the day, you know, immortality ain't it, you know what I'm saying?
For real.
So you have to bear in mind that you're living a life, so try and make it a happy one, try and be selfless, look out for everyone, look out for yourself, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. So that's me, bro. I wake up every morning, work, whatever, work is work. But my people's and my mental health and just making sure I'm good, that's my priority. And that's why I'm always laughing, always smiling, always on some fuckery stuff. I get it. But you just have to be. Bro. You have to be. You have to be, because obviously, but also as well, you have your moments where you're like, shit, like, I feel a bit But you just have to remember, I'm here, I got my mandem, and just remembering, family is where it starts and ends. Because for me, I'm not sitting here looking at you, man, thinking, oh, they're just my pals. These are my family.
Bro.
You understand? Like brothers.
Familia, bro.
We've been through
the trenches
together.
And we've enjoyed the success.
And we've enjoyed
the fruits.
Been in the trenches, it's been a bit muddy. We got out, a bit muddy. But we've got out. And that's it. I think that's my key thing. Just remembering, family is where it starts and ends, and everything else that comes with it is key.
Yeah. I think a big one for me is hobbies and interests, you know, to actually have things that are extracurricular to your job. Because if you're just doing your 9 to 5 and then you're just going home and sitting and doing nothing, you are eventually going to find yourself in a dividend delayed state, right? Even if it's just like, you know, something like running. You don't have to be a Mo Farah every day, but if you can like
certain man order.
Couple man here running 5Ks with mad elevation, you know.
Side note, but I went through your Strava the other day. And I was just like,
slow.
I did not know you wanted to be like the influencer on Strava. But it was
out there like that, yeah.
No, shut it to me.
Right, give me a promo code.
I'm trying to get some new.
I'm trying to bust the man and go throw him back in my face. Lovely.
No, but it's good to see it, because it's like, you know, people are using you know, this opportunity now to build their stamina. It's an achievement, you know. Some of the times I've been seeing, bro, ridiculous, and some of the paces, I'm like, bro, if I tried,
but that's where it starts, bro. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere.
But I like seeing it because it's you know, seeing people being able to the development is what's getting me, you know. Because when you see, not even just running, when you see people developing, like, you know, in their you know, their side hustle, or, you know, in, like, say for example, you have a friend who makes beats, and you see his, like, you know,
he's doing his thing,
and you don't want like you don't necessarily like want them to become famous quickly, but you want to see them go places with their music, you know? And then they might not blow, and that doesn't matter. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah,
you know, as long as you're making music that bangs, or as long as you're doing something that is true to you and is like you know, good for you, that's what I'd rather see, bro. I'd rather see someone doing something and it making them happy, because we're not all fortunate enough to like have, you know,
loads
like,
of M's and that.
But that's fine. You know, money isn't everything, and I think, and that's the problem as well. Like we've linked money to success when it should never have been linked there at all. I know it's a good indication to how successful someone might be in like a business context. That's fine. But not everyone's a businessman. Not everyone's supposed to be like inventor like Elon Musk, all that stuff. Where some of us are just, you know, average Joes just trying to, you know, live in this world. You know, like you said, trying to be human. And I think it's important to hail up the smaller successes as well as the big ones as well.
Tommo, for example, innit?
Like me. Gamble it away.
But you stopped now, though. That was your final one.
That's
isn't
it.
it?
So
and that for you
was
is an achievement.
For me, that was, like I hit it. I was like, right, that's it.
That's it.
I can't lie, I'm very spiritual, so I said enough prayers. I was like, listen, I'll get a big one, that's it, I'm stopping. That was big enough for me, where I was like, all right, cool, I'm done.
And do you feel happy?
I was one race of 30, but...
Could
have been better, but I can't be.
Can't win them all,
You can't get it all.
Yeah.
So that's something that has helped you sort of can't not sleep easy at night, but now you can.
Oh,
Kind of,
100%.
Nah, he's
Yeah.
sleeping easy.
100%,
He's getting his
bro.
8 hours, bro.
I
Don't
woke
worry
up the
about
next day, I was
that. He's getting his 8
like,
hours.
do you know what?
He's blessed.
Life's good, bro. I ain't
Yeah,
got no
he's blessed.
financial worries. Like,
Biggie
I ain't got to do it.
and he's good.
You know what I mean? And I know now is like I had a lot of ideas and things that I wanted to get done, and I always felt like I was gambling more because I
trying
was
to hit it.
trying to live up to what I wanted to do, and I didn't feel like I had the necessary funds to do it.
Yeah, no,
now it's given me opportunity.
now you have
so
the capital.
Now I'm
so
like,
now there's real. Now you don't really have an excuse.
yeah, exactly. So if I'm bumming
yourself
around
out
playing
then, bro.
Call of Duty,
Sort
you do that, bro.
You gotta.
Pull you up, bro. Pull you up.
But listen, playing COD is all right. You know, you can put a little breakdown on as well.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
you know
Because that
what?
keeps
Yeah.
me sane in lockdown.
Yeah.
Like you said about hobbies and interests.
Yeah.
If I win a game of Warzone, that's big
Bro,
success.
really,
to me.
you know what?
Big success.
Winning a game of Warzone is not easy.
It's hard. Like, it comes easy
like-
for some, innit?
Oh,
Easy.
easy.
All right, big
Easy.
man. All right,
Right, it's my
Adidas.
teammates.
Yeah, all right.
And they're getting carried from keeping that win.
Get a backpack.
Yeah. That shit's hard, man. Like, and to not even just Warzone, like gaming YouTube in general. Because if you actually want to, let's say for example, like play professional FIFA, bro,
esports and that, yeah.
it's
very hard.
Yeah, esports in general, bro.
Yeah.
Because if you have one shit match off the team,
No, you're gone.
and if you don't play that match, you don't get your 10k retained or
Yeah, you're
you
gone.
know
Yeah.
prize slot, and that's what it is. Like you literally be playing hours and hours and hours, but if you don't play that
done
tournament,
out.
bro, you ain't getting in the team.
But they put a lot of time in effort into that, so you got to large up them. Cause
Yeah, not even just the esports in the streaming world as well.
100%.
You know, you got to turn your camera on and you got to put a facade on for like 3 hours.
Must
plus.
be hard playing Xbox all day. Yeah, must be so difficult. And getting paid for it.
Oh, bro.
Must be hard. you know.
Long.
It's-
When
I'd
do you
hate
find time to
I'd
do
hate
anything?
to do that. Hate to do it.
It's the whole
It's the
facade. you have to
worst-
put on
worst
there.
thing ever.
It's the whole facade you have to put on, isn't it?
No, facts,
People aren't
yeah.
just gonna watch in, like just some geezer just sitting on the controller like this. Like
Yeah.
you gotta be fucking looking at
Keep
the
it
screen,
entertaining, innit? You know
innit?
what I mean?
Thanks for the £5. You know, oh that's crazy.
Some
I
of the
didn't know you
super
like
chat
mayonnaise.
donations are healthy,
know?
you know?
For real. It is
Yeah.
difficult. And do you know what? A thing on hobbies and interests, and I know you said like it might not be the most successful thing going, but as long as you're enjoying it,
Yeah.
Fair.
I wanted to large up everyone here because I know the podcasting came around and nowhere really planned it a little bit, but do you know what I mean? We're doing our thing.
Yeah.
And we're enjoying it.
And we're enjoying
Yeah.
it, and that's all that matters. So if anyone's got an interest or a hobby that they want to do, just go and
do
do
it,
it.
bro.
Don't worry about like,
Don't
questions
think about
like-
how you're gonna do it. Just
Yeah.
try and do it. And once you've done it for the first time, all
That's
the
it. It's
pieces
all.
will fall.
And like you
into
said
place.
earlier, don't give a fuck what no one thinks about you.
Don't
You-
think about it too much, too much, too much, too much. Never.
Little harmony.
Hey.
I'm never going to be a
stick to
singer.
the podcast.
That is my moment of fame right there.
But no, Billy, for you as well. So much, obviously, we've gone through our things. For yourself, in terms of wrapping up on your side, how would you, obviously, the journey that you've been on and stuff, what's obviously
So obviously,
success
like
for you?
what I touched on earlier, yeah, how it changed through different experiences, which I went through. Some good, some bad, some very tough times, and some very, very, very good times. But to wrap up, I would say my version of success is, thankfully, like, and all four of us in the room are thankful that we retained our jobs over lockdown. During this tough time, we've all retained our jobs. And I work in quite a high pressure job. So for me, getting a hobby and interest and having something like that is very important. And it's something which in the beginning I struggled. I turned to other vices, like I mentioned earlier again, which I realize now, which they weren't right for me.
Yeah.
So, for example, myself here, after work here, I would either go running now because it's obviously one of the only things you can do. But before that, I took up something completely new. I took up boxing.
Jeez.
I took up boxing
Billy,
because
Billy Bilz, yeah.
large up Coach Ted.
Prince Billy.
Give him a little shout out, you know.
But the one thing I would say is that I'm one of those people, I get very bored even if I have 5 minutes of doing nothing, in the sense that I feel like it should be utilized, capitalized, something like that. And just because you're working here, doing this, doing that, when you get to boxing gym, or when you're sparring in the ring, your qualifications, your this, it doesn't count for nothing.
I mean, nothing.
The same way the guy will uppercut you or like jab you in the face, doesn't matter who you are, what you are. So for me, I thought that is one of the best things I've discovered to ground myself in it. And the training you have to do is something which I try and work around my occupation and other things like that. So I think for me, that's one thing which has contributed a lot to myself being stable, being successful, and growing as a person. So as much as it is financial, which we touched on, as much as it is relationships and social, which we touched on, if you look at it as a culmination of all of them, there is an equilibrium which I think which has to be met.
Yes. 100%.
A lot of people have asked, oh, like, you work from this time to that time. You meet up with that person. You're still meeting up with your like sister, your grandmother, that person, whatever. How do you not have time to make a podcast? like, how do you have time to do this? Oh, how do you have time to like go out?
Gotta make time, baby.
Do this. But then
Right.
it simmers down to the point of, if it's important to you and it's of something of value or something of progression for you, you will make time for it.
That's
true. You will make time
I'll
for
drop
it.
that.
So I think for me personally, yeah, you can't please everyone, which I touched on earlier.
We know that.
So if you're doing the things which are the most valuable to yourself and the most appeasing to yourself, that, in my opinion, is success. Because, say for example, I get clouded in the face at boxing. Say for example at work, something mad happened. The success from that is that, boy, that happened today.
Tomorrow's not a day.
Tomorrow, like, we'll think of something different.
Can't get worse, innit? You solved the problem, you
Can't
moved.
get worse than
Exactly.
this.
So as like a final wrap up on my point,
Yeah.
I'll just say, just keep it real to yourself.
Yeah, nah.
And as Jay touched on earlier, everyone's road to success is different. I think
Remember that.
as long as you know how to essentially entertain and keep yourself entertained and keep yourself grounded, keep yourself humbled, keep yourself at peace, humility, morality, and you're content,
You're good.
in my opinion, success, tick.
No, you're good.
Always.
You're good. That's a little mic drop thing, Bill.
That's it.
I feel like I've been inspired, bro.
That's it.
I don't know whether to just pull out a 50 and just drop it on my like, thank you, sir. But no, big you up.
Do you know what?
Walk for Croydon over here. I don't think a new movie on him.
Billy Belfort, bro.
Billy Belfort. That is the one. New nickname, bro.
Nah, do you know what? That's a great way
To
to
put
wrap
that
up.
one in there on the edit, bro. Billy
Have to
Belfort.
change
Yeah.
your name now. But yeah, boys, mandem, it's been a pleasure.
It's been a great
You know
one,
what?
boys. Good
And
to see
until
you.
next time.
Always.
Want to
Love
wrap
and
up?
Thank you very much.
Love and blessings. Yeah. Thanks for listening, people. Love and appreciate the support all the time. If you like what you listen to, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think. Spotify, YouTube, all of this stuff. Let the boys know. Love and blessings.